Welcome. This is Micah Fairchild, Editor-in-Chief at PayrollLab.com, and today our discussion will be focusing on Ultimate Software's payroll offering contained in their UltiPro Enterprise solution. As one of our top 10 payroll solutions, we've already had a chance to briefly touch on some of the highlights of this application, but our goal today is to dig a bit deeper and find out where the relative strengths and weaknesses are for this offering. Joining me today to parse out what these finer points are is my colleague, Chuck Schaefer, CEO of Vantive Media. Chuck, it's good to have you with us as we have the ultimate discussion. How are you?
I'm quite well, Micah. I appreciate you asking me to join in today, although I'm distancing myself from any corny jokes, so you might have to tone it down just a bit.
I can make no such promises. All right, before we digress too much further, let's go ahead and start things off on Ultimate's UltiPro Enterprise. During our top 10 review, we were able to briefly cover the standout areas of this solution's flexibility, Ultimate's payroll gateway, their compensation management module, their product support, and even their impressive customer retention rate. Other than those elements, are there additional areas you think we need to highlight from your perspective?
Well, Ultimate has a lot going for it, so there are quite a few things in the plus columns. But for starters, I think it's important for buyers evaluating the UltiPro Enterprise system to understand the company's commitment to continuous innovation. Just about every payroll software publisher talks about this, but few actually embrace it to the extent that Ultimate has. After all, the company had to make the move from DOS to ASP and its product maturation during the 1990s, and in 2002 started shifting again to make the necessary technology changes for software as a service and cloud delivery. And in 2009, Ultimate actually stopped issuing new software licenses for their on-premise solution altogether. This is a company that has stayed on the leading edge of technologies, demonstrated tenacity where it made business sense for its customers, and continues to leverage disruptive technologies which add value to HCM and payroll software.
I'm glad you brought that up, Chuck. These changes really aren't easy, and it really does represent a commitment to staying abreast of where the industry is headed rather than letting products simply languish. They even actually got recognized for this approach by Constellation Research back in 2011. I think they got the Supernova Award for successful application of emerging and disruptive technologies that actually benefit customers. Plus, over the last several years, they've raked in numerous other awards covering areas from product strategy and vision, cost and value, overall current offering. They really have stepped out of the shadows of some of the larger players in the space.
You know they have. Another area where Ultimate is making headway is in the mobile payroll HR market. For instance, UltiPro has extended the manager self-service portal access to Apple's iPhone through a downloadable app which grants access to the UltiPro inbox. Granted, for employees, the benefits are a bit more basic and simply entail using their iPhones to search for company directories. But what's more telling about UltiPro's mobile functionality is that it is OS and form factor specific, meaning the mobile app can be extended to take advantage of mobile devices' capabilities such as geolocation services. But on the not-so-good side, customer reviews are mixed for this offering, and complaints have ranged from logon issues up to non-native UI and an unappealing user experience. It's promising. They've got the basic tenets right, and they're still on that leading edge, but the UltiPro mobile application still needs a bit of retooling before we see widespread satisfaction.
Yeah, that's a good point. Another area of Ultimates that's impressive on the surface, but not quite there yet, is their global payroll functionality, which is really interesting to me that even though Ultimate prides itself on its international capabilities and touts over 2,400 clients across over 115 countries, really few indications have been given that Ultimate is a credible solution for those companies that are seeking worldwide payroll and HR functionality. For one, the company faces a serious dearth of international situated outposts, a fact that not only affects the company's reputation as a global provider, but it also it affects its ability to deliver services and manage those customers that fall outside of North America. Not only that, but since English, Spanish, and French are the only supported languages, regionalization issues are continuing to impact the company's ability to address the challenges that multinational organizations might have.
You bring up a very valid concern as global feature sets, distribution, and support are all underpowered. And to continue the theme of areas for improvement, I'd have to include the software customization options. Right now, those choices exist mainly at the function level and might be more accurately described as limited to system configuration or administration as opposed to actual customization of the application. I don't mean to imply that these feature sets aren't useful, but they're minimal. And what's needed is a platform as a service type visual software customization tool, which would offer much greater functionality, as well as allow a payroll or business analyst to create new objects, pages, or apps to satisfy otherwise missing functional requirements in a way that doesn't modify the software source code or impact future upgrades. These tools are routinely available from Ultimate competitors and are proven to increase process automation, software extensibility, user adoption, and software payback. And finally, the increased interest among HCM buyers for talent management software is creating a dynamic which is impacting how buyers choose payroll software as well. Where payroll objectives are often about increasing compliance, achieving efficiencies, and lowering costs, talent management is much more focused on HCM and revenue objectives that usually more closely align with the business's top objectives and thereby put payroll and HR leaders in a better position to make a more strategic contribution to their companies. And I think there's a question mark on Ultimate's talent management software strength. It's a robust talent management system, but it's unclear whether it's keeping up with competitors such as Oracle's Taleo, SAP's SuccessFactors, or IBM's Connexa. I think we'll be reporting on this again in the future as this dynamic continues to trend upward.
Yeah, excellent points there on talent management. Those are some serious areas where we're seeing change and adoption really start to trend upwards within the industry. Okay, so we've hammered Ultimate for a bit here on their deficiencies. But you mentioned early on that you had some other elements in the plus column, which I'd like to get back to. For me, one of those features is the UltiPro's tax filing module. Aside from reducing the administrative payroll burden via federal, state, and local tax liability handling, which, by the way, currently sits at around 13,000 supported tax codes, this tool really can help handle monthly, quarterly, and annual tax returns, generating and filing amended returns, and delivering multi-worksite reporting to the appropriate locales.
Yeah, that is effective for both time savings and accurate filings. Of course, I think we need to add Ultimate's ancillary benefits administration module to the plus side as well. After all, within the UltiPro benefits feature set is functionality for managing paycheck deductions and calculations for employee and employer premiums through a common table, which is somewhat rare.
That's a good catch, Chuck. Okay, we're down to the wire. But any other thoughts before we wrap up our Ultimate software discussion?
Yeah, maybe a final comment on where Ultimate fits and doesn't fit might be helpful. If your organization needs deeper integration into additional ERP functions like financials, CRM, manufacturing, or supply chain, you would probably do well to broaden your search criteria beyond Ultimate. Also, Ultimate is focused on the cloud and is currently executing a long-term strategy of migrating existing customers one by one to the software as a service environment. If you're seeking a licensed on-premise solution for your payroll needs, it's probably best to look elsewhere. But on the flip side, if you're looking for a single provider for best-of-breed payroll that's integrated with deep HCM functionality, then Ultimate should likely be on your consideration shortlist.
Points, Chuck, and an equally excellent way for us to end our Ultimate discussion. Sorry, Chuck, I really just couldn't resist. So thanks for joining us for this conversation, and be sure to tune in next time as we continue our exploration of the nexus of payroll processes, payroll strategies, and technology.